Hey guys, hi. If I look tired, that's because I am. It's a little it's like 1 minute after 7, but today's topic is kind of long, so I want to just get started and kind of go over a little bit of what I talked about yesterday, the manifesto for a life well lived. One of my favorite people that I'm following right now is Lisa Nichols. And one of the things she said that her grandmother told her is that you want to live your life so wonderfully or out loud that when you're older and everybody's standing around and you're getting ready to leave this earth, that the stories everybody tells of your life are magnificent, you know? So that whole, getting I guess, your book of how you're going to live your life is so important because you want to have that magnificent story to leave, that legacy to leave your children, your grandchildren, or great-great-grandchildren or whatever. But that's one of the things that I really like about her and how she lives her life out loud. So let's get on to today's topic. Now, although it is a short heading, it's a pretty long lesson. So I'm trying to kind of break it up. It's like 10 points on lessons on love. So we're just going to go through each one. And I guess we all need a few lessons on love, huh? Okay, so today's February the 3rd, and let's just get into it. All right, so number one, sometimes the one you think is right is all kinds of wrong for you. Well, let's see. Sometimes I think people fall into lust versus love because they let their body and their bodily desires dictate who they are with. And not all the time is that person the right person for them. Periodically, people will get with someone and they figure out that that person is not the right person for them, but they're struggling with their integrity and whether or not, I don't know if I want to leave them because I made a commitment and I'm gonna try to stick this out. But not all the time is that your destiny. Sometimes that person that you think is right for you, really not. Sometimes you're just meant to be friends. You're not meant to have that type of relationship. So, I have made that mistake um, in some relationships, and you realize it later, and it's like, what about that stand by your man kind of thing? I don't think they're really right for me, but I don't want to leave because, then I'll look like a flake or whatever. But, sometimes you stay longer than you should. And I'm not telling you to break up your relationships. Yeah, you want to try, if you're in a relationship, try to make it work. But sometimes how they say that sometimes people come into your life for a season, and when that season is over, you got to let them go. All right, so number two, there are a lot of folks with low expectations of what's possible in matters of the heart. Remember, you get exactly what you allow yourself to receive. And I think we talked about that a little bit before, is what are you putting out into the world as to how you want to be treated? If you don't treat yourself well, nobody else is going to treat you well either. So, and I think that's what this is saying. You have low expectations and you'll just kind of settle for anything that comes along and even kind of remotely looks at you, winking and whatever. But we shouldn't do that. We need to treat ourselves better and love ourselves so much that when somebody looks our way, we're attracting people who would treat us like we would treat ourselves. Hopefully, that's in a good way. Okay, so number 3. You will, without question, experience the kind of love that cracks your heart wide open and sprinkles confetti on the table, but not until you decide that nothing less than this is an option. You know, everybody wants that. Everybody wants that undying uh, kind of love that just makes your every time you see that person, it just makes your whole face light up and your heart starts beating really fast and all of that. And you know, I think that everybody deserves that. Everybody deserves that because um, you know, when we start to love ourselves, that kind of love is possible, you know. So if you have it, wonderful. If you don't, it's coming. It's right there at the edge, and you just want to pull it and bring it in. Start loving yourself first, though. That's the key. Okay, 4. Love is a compromise. But if you find yourself in a relationship where the prerequisite is change for either you or your partner, walk away and save yourself the heartbreak. I totally agree. Whenever you're going into a relationship with the expectation that you're going to change that person, I don't think you're in it for the right reason. You don't go into a relationship expecting to change your partner. You love them for who they are. They love you for who you are. So if that's not the case, that's probably not the best relationship for you, because if both of you are going into a relationship to change each other, then that's not going to work. Not long term anyway. So that usually ends up in heartbreak for both parties. But you know, sometimes it lasts a long time, and you don't want to waste your time like that. You know, don't go into a relationship expecting to change someone. We're grown-ups. So if however they are at that point, they're going to have to be willing or wanting to change themselves. It's not your job to do that. All right, number 5. All matters of the heart have challenges, but the lay your soul on the line kind of love is the one of the most natural feelings in the world. Yeah. You know, when you love somebody and you just lay everything on the line, I mean, you give your whole heart and your whole self to that person, but you still have your individuality. That can be amazing. And that's the kind of love that we all strive for, you know, to be there and both of you are 100% in. You know that whole 50-50 thing? No. It's 100-100. Everybody gives 100%. If not, then what's the point? So look for that kind of love. That's the kind of love I want in my life. Hi, Kingsley. Thanks for visiting. Number 6. When you unconditionally love someone, you see them as they are. When you love them with condition, you see them as you are. Isn't that profound? You see them If you have conditions, you see, if you love them unconditionally, you see them as they are. But when you have conditions, you're not letting them live their truth. Remember, we talked about you live your truth, you let somebody else live their truth. You cannot impose your truth on someone else. It's just, it's not right and it's not possible. You can try it, but all you're going to do is frustrate yourself. So let's not do that. Let's not have conditions to our love. Just love. Just love somebody and love them with everything you have in you. And then it will be beautiful and magical. And that's all you need to do. Number 7, love is wide open freedom in a tightly confined world. You know, this world is, it can get a little crazy sometimes, right? But when you have love in your life, you feel free and get that deep breath and you just, you know, it just makes you feel great. It could be any kind of love, really. You know, I love my kids. I love my grandbabies. I saw a video of my son and my grandson today. And my grandson was feeding my son popcorn. And he was doing it so nonchalantly, like, "Hi, Dad. You know, here's your popcorn, Dad." And while he's watching TV, but it was just so funny that he was so generous with the popcorn. He wasn't even eating any himself, and you know, just that little funny thing that he was doing, I just made me love him even more. And you know, that just makes your heart feel good. And in this today's world, you need more of that, right? Okay, number 8. When it's right, you feel it in every cell of your being. When it's wrong, you feel that too. Stay in close connection to your heart to know what is true for you. I don't think I really have to say anything about that. I mean, if you read that, let me read that one more time because it just says everything. When it's right, you feel it in every cell of your being. When it's wrong, you feel that too. Stay in close connection to your heart to know what is true for you. Sometimes we get in relationships and we know it's wrong. We know it instinctively, but we stay in them for the wrong reasons. But for those of you who are blessed enough to be in a relationship where you know it's right, oh my God. You know, have you ever thought one of the, if you're not in a relationship, I'm just saying, have you ever thought one of these days I'm going to have, or I have, speak your future into your present, I have this love that just takes over my whole body, just makes me feel it in every cell of my being. Think about what I said last night about loving yourself. That kind of love you should be able to feel in every cell of your being before you can do that with anybody else. Love yourself unconditionally. And I mean, that happiness will radiate out into the universe. And then all of a sudden you start attracting that same love, and that person that you've been waiting for, other than yourself, they'll come to you. You don't have to chase them. You don't have to look for them on the dating apps or going out to bars or wherever else people look for people. They'll come to you. It'll come to you. It's probably just some circumstance. Maybe somebody you met already, but you didn't realize that was the person for you then because you weren't ready. Think about it. Okay, number 9. Cynicism has a way of setting in. And if you allow it to, you can easily give up faith in the one thing that can save us all, love. Please don't lose your faith. Love does exist. What can happen is in relationships, when people get hurt, say in a relationship where one party or both parties even were unfaithful, all of a sudden when that relationship breaks up, those people go out to find love elsewhere, and that cynicism or that muscle memory is still there. And they're carrying that with them, and it's preventing them from finding the love that's out there for them. Just because they were hurt or something happened in that relationship that really made them a bit cynical. I know because I've experienced it. And I had to really talk to myself. You know, when you start working on yourself and you start asking yourself the hard questions and giving yourself the hard answers, sometimes you're like, oh my God, really? I did that? But I really had to stop and think about, what do you really want, and what are you carrying into your desire for a relationship? Have you given up all that other crap that happened before to open up your heart for a real relationship? And my answer to myself was no. So I had to start really asking myself, what do I want? Was I willing to give up that cynicism about what happened before, so that at some point I would be able to find that person that's right for me? I had to admit to myself that the relationships I've had in the past, we were compatible on some levels, and maybe we were right for each other for that moment. But that wasn't really the person for me. But I kept hanging on because, you know, I'm a Southern girl. Stand by your man is one of those things they say all the time. So whether or not I was staying because I felt some sense of loyalty, which I did, or was it a sense of, this is how I grew up and this is how I need to stay, or this is how I need to be, and to stay with this person for the rest of my life, no matter what, whether they're right for me or not? Because I don't want the world looking at me and saying, you know, I left my man. Over the years, I've learned that that's not healthy. Sometimes you just have to say, you know what, I made a mistake. Let it go, move on, so that you don't acquire that cynicism and you're not taking those negative thoughts and feelings into another relationship. You know, I've made those mistakes, which is why I can speak on it. So, and you know, being my age, you know, I had to step back and look at everything that's happened in my life, and then learn lessons from it versus hanging on to it. and the power of knowing what's going on in my own mind, that helps a lot. Okay, so number 10, and this is the last one, I promise. Most importantly, you deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved. You deserve to be loved. And so it's repeated several times in the book because you deserve to be loved. Say it to yourself. Look in the mirror in the morning. If you don't believe it now, look in the mirror in the morning when you're getting dressed. Say it to you, or when you're brushing your teeth, or whatever you're doing in the mirror. Or just deliberately go to the mirror and say, you deserve to be loved. Viv, you deserve to be loved. Say it over and over and over and over. Not, you don't have to say Viv because that's my name, but you can say it for yourself. You know, you deserve to be loved. Everybody does. It's one of those things, those precious things that are out there, that's out there for everyone. And if you keep in your head that you deserve to be loved, you'll start loving yourself more. And that love that you're waiting for is, oh my God, it's going to be amazing. I'm waiting for my amazing. It's out there for me. I know it. And as long as I keep working on me, and as long as I keep loving me, it's going to be fantastic when that man shows up. So, anyway, guys, I hope you leave your comments down below. Like and share my videos. And I'm so happy, Kingsley and Tunil. I really appreciate you showing up tonight, and leave me some comments, your take on this topic. And I really appreciate, again, you showing up, and I wish you peace. I wish you love, and I love you guys. You have a great, great evening. I'll see you tomorrow again. Same time, same station. Bye-bye.